Have you ever found yourself in that situation where no matter what you do, it never seems enough to make her happy? You've tried all the things you know will work: gifts, flowers, date nights, and even helping out at home. Maybe you've picked out the perfect bouquet of flowers, one that is neither too much nor too little, trying to find the right balance. You've planned romantic evenings with cozy dinners or even surprise weekend getaways, thinking these gestures might make her smile. You've even done the dishes, cleaned, and folded the laundry, all in an attempt to ease her burden and show that you care. But somehow, after all this effort, it still doesn't feel like enough. You start to feel stuck, as if no matter how much you try, something is always missing. You find yourself frustrated, confused, and even drained, asking, what more could I possibly do? If you're feeling this way, you're certainly not the only one. Many men feel like they're putting in a lot of effort but still can't make their partner feel happy. It's a frustrating place to be in. The truth is, it's not just about you or the things you do. There is something much deeper at play here. And once you understand it, it can change the way you view every disagreement, every disappointed look, and every piece of criticism that comes your way. The reality is that sometimes, no matter how hard you try, the unhappiness you see in her isn't about anything you've done. It's often something much more ingrained. And here's the harsh truth. Until you truly understand this, you'll keep running in circles, trying to solve problems that honestly can't be solved. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has no bottom. No matter how much you pour into it, it never gets full. The cycle just keeps repeating. If you're tired of feeling like you're failing at the most important task of making her happy, then this is the realization that could change everything. The truth is, it's not about you. And that realization is the first step toward breaking free from this exhausting pattern. So why is it that some women are always unhappy, no matter how much you try to make them happy? You've probably wondered this many times before. No matter how much attention you give, how many thoughtful surprises you plan, or how much emotional support you offer, it always seems like something is still missing. Maybe she critiques everything you do, makes passive-aggressive remarks, or gives you that disappointed look you just can't shake off. You do your best, but no matter what, it feels like you're failing. But here's something that might surprise you. This isn't really about you, and it never was. I know that sounds tough to hear, but stay with me here. The truth behind this pattern of unhappiness is far more complex than just what you're doing or not doing. It has nothing to do with your actions and everything to do with something much deeper within her. Her feelings of dissatisfaction aren't a reflection of your worth or your effort as a partner. These feelings often come from much deeper sources, things that have been part of her for a long time, long before you even met her. When you understand this, it changes everything. You begin to realize that trying to fix something that is broken on the inside, something that isn't your fault, will only wear you out and keep you trapped. It just doesn't work. Once you grasp this truth, you can stop blaming yourself and instead focus on something you can actually control: your own peace and happiness. You might have heard the phrase, "nothing I do is ever good enough," many times. This is something many men in relationships experience, especially married men. It's one of the most painful things to hear because you're doing everything you can to be the best partner you can be. Whether it's gifts, going on dates, being emotionally available, or just being there when she needs you, you try your best. But no matter what, the outcome feels the same: frustration and dissatisfaction. Now let me be clear about something. It's not your fault. It never was. The issue isn't that you're not trying hard enough or that you're failing as a partner. The frustration you're feeling isn't a reflection of your worth or your effort in the relationship. It comes from a deeply ingrained pattern within her, a pattern that goes back much further than your relationship. Think of it like trying to fill up a hole with no bottom. No matter how much you pour in, whether it's love, affection, attention, or care, it never seems to fill up. The more you try, the more she needs. But the truth is, it's not about doing more or being better. It's about realizing that the dissatisfaction you're facing comes from something inside her that existed long before you entered the picture. This isn't to say that she doesn't love you or appreciate you. It's quite the opposite. But the key to understanding this dynamic is to recognize that her unhappiness isn't about your actions. It's about a pattern that has been present in her life since childhood, and it continues into adulthood, influencing how she views herself, others, and her relationships. It might sound strange, but research has shown that a large part of a person's personality, including traits like whether they are positive or negative, comes from their genes. That's right. Half of the way we react to stress, to challenges, and even how we see the world is influenced by our genetics. This means that some people are naturally more inclined to focus on the negative, even when everything else is going fine. Imagine being wired to always look for problems, flaws, or things that could be better, even when things around you are actually pretty good. That's what some women experience. They might have a brain that's wired to find issues, even when there's no obvious reason to feel dissatisfied. This is not a choice. It's something that's part of their biology. It's like wearing glasses that make everything look bad, no matter how good things actually are. This can make them feel unhappy, even when their life is perfectly fine on the outside. It's not that they're choosing to feel dissatisfied, it's that their brain is literally set up to see the negatives in every situation. This genetic wiring isn't something that can easily be changed, and it's certainly not something you can fix. It's an invisible struggle that some women carry with them, and no matter how much you try to change things, their brain will still be tuned to focus on the negatives. Understanding this fact helps explain why, no matter what you do, it can feel like it's never enough. It's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because of how her mind works. But this genetic wiring is just part of the story. The real impact starts much earlier during childhood. How a woman was raised, what she saw and experienced, shapes the way she views the world and relationships. If a woman grew up with an absent or emotionally distant father, she might have subconsciously learned to expect men to let her down. She might think that all men are incapable of meeting her emotional needs, which can make her expect too much from you without even realizing it. This belief might lead her to seek out relationships with men who will disappoint her because deep down she expects to be let down. It's a cycle that's difficult to break. She might find herself with men who are emotionally unavailable or neglectful, even though consciously she might want the opposite. It's an emotional trap that she doesn't fully understand, but it shapes her relationships in ways she might not even notice. The pattern doesn't stop there. A woman's relationship with her mother can also play a huge role in shaping how she feels and behaves in relationships. If she grew up with a mother who was always dissatisfied or complaining about everything, she might learn that it's normal for women to expect more than what they have. She might believe that women should always want something better, and that they should never be completely happy with their life. Even if she consciously rejects this idea, she might still follow this pattern without realizing it. She might complain about her partner, about her life, or about everything in between. It's not that she wants to be unhappy, it's just that she's repeating the emotional blueprint she learned from her mother. This cycle of dissatisfaction can be passed down from one generation to the next. Daughters learn from their mothers how to be dissatisfied, how to always want more, and how to expect things to be perfect. Even if they swear to themselves that they won't fall into the same trap, they might end up doing the exact same thing. Now, let's talk about the fairy tale ideal that many women grew up with. Movies, books, and stories often show women being swept off their feet by a perfect man and living happily ever after. These fairy tales teach women that love should always be perfect, exciting, easy, and filled with romance. But here's the problem. Real relationships aren't like that. Real life comes with bills, chores, and problems that don't get fixed with a magic spell or a kiss. When women enter relationships, they often face the stark reality that their relationships aren't as perfect as they imagined. This can lead to disappointment because the expectations they had growing up didn't match what they found in the real world. It's a tough realization, but it's one that many women face. Relationships are about hard work, compromise, and making things work, even when it's not glamorous. When women realize this, it can cause a sense of dissatisfaction. They may feel like they're missing out on the perfect life they thought they'd have. The constant search for something better is a pattern that many women get stuck in. When they get something they want, a house, a partner, or even a new outfit, they might feel great at first, but soon the excitement fades. They start thinking, this isn't enough. I need something bigger or better. This can happen in relationships too. A woman might get the boyfriend she's always wanted, but after a while she starts thinking, now I want more. I want a husband, a bigger commitment, or more stability. The same happens with possessions. A woman might buy her dream house, but soon she's thinking, I need a bigger house or a nicer one. This pattern creates a feeling of dissatisfaction. No matter how much they get, it's never enough. They always want more. But what if the secret to breaking the cycle is to learn to appreciate what they already have? What if happiness isn't about getting more, but about being happy with what you've got? In today's world, social media plays a huge role in making women feel like their lives aren't good enough. When they scroll through their phones, they see perfect pictures of other people's lives. People are traveling, living in fancy homes, and looking perfect. It's easy to believe that everyone else is living the dream, while their life doesn't measure up. But the truth is, social media only shows the highlights. It doesn't show the struggles, the arguments, or the moments of frustration. It's like a highlight reel of other people's lives, and comparing yourself to that can make you feel like you're failing. For many women, this constant comparison can lead to a feeling of inadequacy. They see what other people have and wonder why they don't have it. They see people having fun on vacations while they're stuck working or taking care of responsibilities. This comparison leads to dissatisfaction because it makes them focus on what they don't have, instead of appreciating the things they do. So, what's the solution to all this? How do you break free from this cycle of trying to make someone happy when nothing seems to work? The answer is simple but hard to accept. Happiness has to come from within. It's not something that someone else can give you. If she doesn't feel good about herself, no matter what you do, she won't be able to be truly happy in the relationship. The key is for her to take responsibility for her own happiness. Only when she learns to look inward, to deal with her past emotional struggles, and to appreciate what she has, will she be able to find true fulfillment. And until that happens, nothing you do will ever be enough to fix things. Understanding this gives you the freedom to stop blaming yourself. You can't fix her unhappiness, and that's okay. The only thing you can do is support her, but you cannot be the one to make her happy. She has to do that work herself. So if you're in a relationship with a woman who seems to be constantly unhappy, remember this: it's not your fault. No matter how much you try, the root of her dissatisfaction might not have anything to do with you. The real work she needs to do is within herself, and until she is willing to take responsibility for her own happiness, the cycle of unhappiness will continue. The most important thing you can do is take care of your own emotional well-being. Don't carry the burden of trying to fix something that isn't yours to fix. Instead, create a supportive environment where she feels encouraged to heal and grow. But remember, the responsibility for her happiness lies with her, not with you. Once she understands this truth and takes ownership of her own emotional health, the relationship can truly transform. Until then, you can love her, support her, and be there for her, but understand that the real change must come from her. It's not about doing more. It's about understanding what she needs to do to heal, grow, and find true happiness within herself. And that's the key to breaking free from the cycle of unhappiness and building a relationship that's based on understanding, self-awareness, and mutual respect.